No, the title of this video is not clickbait. There was indeed a brief period in 2023 when Dragon Nest could be considered a crypto game. But what I do have to point out is that neither the developer of the game Identity nor its parent company Shanda Games had absolutely anything to do with this. Yeah, although both of them aren't strangers to controversial decisions, even they would never shoot themselves in the foot like that. But how did Dragon Nest turn into a crypto game if its owners weren't ever involved? Well, to get to the bottom of this, I will have to explain the Dragon Nest private server market to you. There are two main ways to play the game. The intended way is, obviously, playing on official servers. But there is one major problem. They're all region locked. So the only ways to access an official server are either by living in an Identity approved area, or two, finding a VPN that actually works and experiencing the highest, most agonizing ping you'll ever see. That's where the private servers come in. Unlike official servers, private servers can be accessed by anyone. But the accessibility isn't the only reason people choose to play on them. Different from the official counterparts, private servers are usually less pay to win and offer players various bonuses like OP starter kits, free cash, and modded content for extra convenience. Now, this all sounds very good, but the main downside of private servers is a chance that it might give you computer aids. Yeah, I would know, this happened to me several times before. So if you do wanna try playing on a private server, please look for a reputable one and run an antivirus just in case. Anyway, like with any market out there is a lot of competition in the Dragon Nest private server sector. As private servers come and go, server owners are thinking of new ways to attract players on their turf and keep them coming. And I have to say, none of them were as creative as the owners of Ethernum DN. As you can see, Ethernum claims to be the first and only Dragon Nest server that allows users to farm cryptocurrency in the game. Now, there are already 50 billion videos out there explaining why crypto games are not as good of a money maker as they want you to think. You can check out John's channel if you wanna see more examples. But the gist of it is, you'll either be making less than a penny or you'll have to wail for a chance to earn. And the moment you hear, give me money now and you'll get more later, that is when you know it's a scam. No, you don't understand, it's not a scam. In the crypto world, we prefer the term investment, thank you very much. Although, the case of Ethernum DN is a bit different from your average crypto project, because instead of trying to make their own game, they decided, what if we take an already established game and turn it into our crypto game instead? And you know, I usually clown on Identity for suing private servers, even if that only happens in Korea and China. But this time I'd be completely on their side. I'd support an international lawsuit on this one. Anyway, if Ethernum DN wanted to stand out, they certainly did. Because the moment I stumbled upon this claim, I immediately wanted to know what the hell this was about. But despite my curiosity, I was extremely hesitant to even download it, because I already had the unfortunate experience of getting a crypto miner in a Dragon Nest Trojan horse. And that server didn't even have anything to do with crypto. It was called Miracle DN. Yeah, what a fucking miracle that was. Because of this, the moment I see the words crypto and Dragon Nest in the same sentence, I immediately feel uneasy. But even if I wanted to actually try this server out for this video, that would be impossible. Because spoiler alert, but it closed down. Yeah, I guess Ethernum wasn't going to the moon. So, if any of you watching this happen to play on this server before, please leave your testimonies for me in the comments. And also don't forget to mention whether your antivirus found a crypt inject in your PC or not. Anyway, I found the server closing announcement posted on YouTube, which I'm very thankful for because I should also mention I was unable to access their Discord. Surprisingly, according to them, the closure didn't actually have anything to do with crypto. The real reason is them apparently being abandoned by the licensed distributor, which led to them being unable to update the game. This means that the server was running from the 5th of March 2023 to 24th of December 2024. In other words, around a year and a half. Which is not a lot, but at the same time, there were some DN servers that died even faster. Fortunately for me, a lot of the information about Ethernum DN was surprisingly well archived, so I'm really thankful for that. Talking about their Discord, it's a real shame I couldn't access it, because I really wanted to take a look at the community and see just how many crypto bros were actually involved. The closest thing to that I could see was their official forum, and I came there expecting crypto talk, but what I did not expect to find instead was a digital advertisement board. Yeah, even while the server was still operating, the admins made no attempt to delete any of the random ads posted in the general talk board, which makes me wonder whether they were actually paid to host these ads or not. But if you thought that was bad, after the server shut down, the forums turned into a free-for-all wild west of shady shit. The ad count has surpassed a whopping 14,000. This is like one of those free movie websites on steroids. If bro really was paid for all these ads, then it was definitely paying much better than any of the crypto shit for sure. Maybe the real investment were the pretty girls in your town for night all along. Anyway, you're all here for the crypto part, so let's finally talk about it. All of you must be wondering, how would earning crypto through playing Dragon Nest even work? Originally, their plan was to create their own cryptocurrency for these purposes, which they wanted to call Ethernum Coin. I'm curious whether it sounded very similar to Ethereum was a deliberate move or not, because this makes it sound like a sneaky scheme to confuse people into buying their currency by accident, like, oh no, I accidentally put all my life savings into Ethereum instead of Ethereum, and now I can't pay my mortgage, type of deal. Luckily for everyone, Ethernum Coin never came to be. Instead, they decided to use an already existing cryptocurrency, Raven Coin. Yes, despite what the server's name may lead you to believe, you wouldn't actually be mining any Ethereum. Kinda misleading if you think about it. I should also mention that the crypto system wasn't actually on the server from launch. It was added on 13th of May 2023, so 3 months after the server opened. I know all of this because the main guy behind the server, Melons, wrote this very informative post. This is also where the play to earn part of the server is actually explained. Okay, so apparently the crypto part of the server worked like this. After completing a dungeon, there is a 25% chance of obtaining an in-game item called Ethernum Point. Now, from this video on Ethernum DN's official channel, I've managed to deduce that it's possible to obtain these points in any dungeon which happens to be that day's lucky zone, regardless of the difficulty level. It wasn't directly shown in the video, but I'm going to assume that these are the Ethernum points, which means that the number of points you get per dungeon is 1. Now, this is where we actually get to the crypto part. The exchange rate to crypto was 3 Ethernum points per 1 Raven coin. Okay, so how much is 1 Raven coin at the time of me writing this script? Okay, perhaps things used to be better at some point. Fine, but what about the price around the time when Ethernum DN implemented the points exchange? Yeah, that don't look like the crypto dream to me. So, with these rates in mind, how much money could you possibly make from playing on Ethernum DN? Let's do some quick maths. The 25% rate means that you have 1 in 4 chance of obtaining a point after completing a dungeon. I've managed to find out that the fatigue requirement on Ethernum DN is 500 per dungeon, while the max fatigue is 25,000 points. This means that you'll be able to complete 50 dungeons per day. If we take these numbers, we'll get an average of 12 points per day. I'm gonna round it up to 12 for counting reasons. Now, I'm gonna round up the Raven coin cost to $0.02, since that was around its average price in 2023. This would mean that 12 points would get you 4 Raven coin, or a whopping average of $0.08 in one day. Now, this already doesn't sound like a good investment of your time. But here's the thing. In Dragon Nest, the fatigue points aren't tied to your account. They're tied to your character. That means every time you run out of fatigue, you can just swap into a new character and continue the grind. The max number of characters you can create per day is 7, and the max amount of characters you can have per account is 19. I must admit, at first I thought that the Ethernum points would only be available on highest labyrinth levels, or restricted to endgame content like dragon raids, but it seems like Melons has chosen the most generous method. Probably because the currency in question is so shit. Since the server gives every character a 99 level jumping potion for free, nothing is stopping the players from grinding on all of their 19 characters. The only restriction you would have is time, because difficulty doesn't matter, you can just keep playing on easy and complete dungeons in around 3 minutes or so. Which means it would take you approximately 2.5 hours to deplete the fatigue on one character. And if we take the average profit of $0.08 in 2.5 hours, this would mean your hourly income would be this. Which in turn means that you would have to spend a whole 32 hours to make a single dollar. And at this point, just put the fries in the bag, bruh. What the hell is this? Okay, this is where the crypto defenders here might say, "What's you mean? This server was made by Indonesians, and $1 is much more valuable out there." So, what better way to find out the truth than to ask one of my Indonesian mutuals for some input? According to them, the minimum wage in Indonesia is around $315 a month in the capital city. Now, let's compare it to the average monthly income you'd get on Ethernum DN. If you decide to grind this like a 9 to 5 job, so 8 hours daily, that would mean you would earn about $0.26 a day, which translates to approximately $5.2 a month if you have weekends, or 7.8 if you don't. Yeah, things are not looking good here. But just how much can a single dollar even buy you in Indonesia? Well, according to my trusty source, you can treat yourself to a delicious meal of chicken and rice with some soda. But considering that you have to eat more than just 5 or 7 times per month, I don't think this money will last you unless you plan on starving under a bridge. And keep in mind, the only way you'd even get the figure of $5 to $7 a month is if you grind this game for 8 hours a day. And as fun as Dragon Nest is, doing the same dungeon for 8 hours straight could be considered a form of capital punishment. Trust me, I used to farm Tomb Invaders. I know how it feels to farm the same dungeon for several hours in a row. So yeah, ain't nobody gonna do that shit, especially for such measly payout. This is what I meant by saying you'll be making less than a penny with these crypto games. At the very least, you can't call this an outright scam because 1. They technically didn't lie about you being able to earn cryptocurrency, since they never promised it would actually be profitable. And 2. You don't have to invest any of your own money into this. Although I do wonder, where exactly was the cryptocurrency supply for the server actually coming from? This is why I was scared to even check the server out myself, because either the owner was buying all this with the cash shop revenue, or a scarier option. Your PC was farming crypto for the server all along. But while I was researching Ethernum DN, I've made a rather curious discovery. When I was looking up the website of the server on the Wayback Machine, I've noticed that the website page itself says absolutely nothing about crypto. Now, this is very strange, considering that this server's main selling point was supposed to be the earning crypto part. But what I found even more curious is that whenever I looked for videos of people playing on Ethernum DN, none of them had anything to do with crypto either. In fact, all of them were either PvP events or STG, neither of which are ways to earn Ethernum points. So, although I don't have any solid proof of this, I have a little game theory about Ethernum DN. And my theory is that after the earning crypto thing failed to absolutely no one's surprise, Melons decided to completely scrap the crypto part and simply carried on as a regular Dragon Nest private server. I can't exactly tell when the shift would have happened, but I'm pretty sure by the time 2024 rolled around, the crypto mining feature was already gone. And if that really is the case, then I'm totally not surprised that this whole thing slipped completely under the radar. Not only because Dragon Nest by itself is extremely irrelevant, the private server sector of the fandom is even smaller, and the amount of people who knew about this Crypto Nest incident is even smaller than that. But the fact that this even happened in the first place is ridiculous to me. I don't think I've ever heard a case where someone took an already existing game and turned it into a crypto game without the permission of the developers. The main reason I even decided to make this video is because this entire fiasco is so fascinating to me. And this is honestly the most interesting thing that happened in the fandom for like the past 5 years. So I just had to talk about it. If it makes anyone feel any better, I don't think this endeavor was profitable even for the Ethernum DN owners. In one of the official channel videos, Melons actually leaked his own Ethernum points balance, and it was equal to around $12 in total. That's why I said those sassy forum ads would probably be more profitable than any of the crypto shit. Although it was filmed only 3 days after the Ethernum points system was implemented, so who knows just how much they made in total or where all the points ended up going. So, what did we learn from all this? Crypto games aren't a good idea, and turning Dragon Nest into a crypto game is an even worse idea. Please never do this again. I really hope that this is the last time I ever hear crypto and Dragon Nest in the same sentence, cause these words shouldn't even be near each other. Oh, and by the way, this is the only video related to crypto I'll be making. This is a Dragon Nest channel, not a crypto cringe channel. Although I do love me some crypto cringe, don't get me wrong. But don't expect something like this from me again. Unless there is another Dragon Nest crypto incident I'm not aware of. In that case, please tell me more. So this is the curious case of the Dragon Nest crypto server. Until next time, peace out.